everybody. Welcome to TELLI Talks, where we talk about life, growth, relationships, and all things in between. I have a super dope artist, Smilez, in the building today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So for the people that don't know who you are or where you started, can you give us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today?
Man, yeah, I mean, I've had a crazy ride, honestly. Like, I've always loved music. I grew up in Texas till I was like 12, and I moved to LA. And I've always been into music. I used to play in different bands, and I started rapping, and then it kind of just all fused together, and just been ups and downs and crazy event after crazy event.
So how did you, because you have a different style about you that not a lot of artists, or I haven't seen it at least, from my perspective, mixing rap and hip hop with rock and punk music.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope. What made you have that transition, or did you just want to do both?
Well, for me, I started in the sort of rock punk world because when I was younger, I started playing guitar. Mm-hmm. And as I got older, I always loved the storytelling and the sort of more modern, relatable lyrics of hip hop. And because I feel like rock, the lyrics kind of, sometimes it's more universal because you literally can't fit that many words in when you're just singing.
Absolutely.
So I really gravitated towards the more detailed storytelling, and I always have loved hip hop. And I always see the similarities between hip hop and punk rock and the sort of outspokenness and the real raw energy.
Absolutely.
And so to me it was and everyone has their different perspectives with music, but for me it was an obvious connect the dots here. And it's I see it differently, but I don't know, it was just musically it's whatever excites me.
Absolutely. So can you give us a little bit of background of how you see music?
Well, I mean, I love music. It's the first thing I think about, the last thing I think about every day. And I think it's really just life, It's the energy of life, the upbeat, the highs of life, Whether even if it's a sad song, it's those intense emotions of life. Absolutely. And it's I don't know, I love music. Yeah, absolutely.
And you put your life into your music, you know, and I know that you had your brother pass away. I'm sorry about that. And you had a song dedicated to your brother, which is an exceptionally amazing song.
Oh, thank you.
How were you able to merge your feelings into the song and not make it so it's emotional for you, or put your emotions out there while you're singing or rapping?
Well, I mean, I think I always knew if I'm going to be an artist, I have to have my job really as an artist is to be completely open.
Absolutely.
And not even about small stuff. I'm not talking about what's my favorite coffee to drink in the morning, but
right.
To be open about the real stuff,
the root of
everything. The real feelings, the real emotion. And when I started writing songs, after a while, I would find I'd write songs and I'd later look back and I'd be like, well, you know what? I didn't even know I was feeling this way. But when I read the lyrics, I'm that's spot on to what I was going through. And I think that's a process of not overthinking and just getting that creative spark and just running with it. And I think it's important to just be completely open, and there's powerful message in that. And
absolutely,
when it comes what you were talking about, for those, my older brother passed away about two years ago, and it was completely devastating. It was a fentanyl, poisoning overdose situation. And it was so heavy, and it felt like, you know, even with the darkest things you can go through, if you can turn that into music, and there's other people that have gone through it. Everything you've gone through,
relatable.
Other people have gone through it.
Absolutely.
Somewhere out there. And so it's like, if I could put my story out there, and if it helps, if I turn some dark, you know, sad shit into something that can help a couple kids, then like I've made it into a positive.
Absolutely.
As much as I can. Yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of positivity, you know, your name is Smilez. How did that name come about? Because you are all like positive, like a beam of positive energy. I love it. I love to see it.
I mean, like, so the story of how I became Smilez is not as deep as what I was just talking about. It's more of a like, I knew I wanted to color my hair and like do something kind of like outrageous, and that's because I've always been a fan of artists that are like characters, like real characters, and sort of interesting people.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, you know what, like, you know, like screw it, like I'll dye my hair yellow, put a smiley face on. And then I was like, what if I just like wore the same color, you know, make that kind of like a theme. And then I did that first, and then I was like,
how old were you when that started?
27.
Okay.
Way too old.
So it was later. It was later down the line.
Yeah, no, I get less serious every year.
Really?
Yeah, I get less serious. I think.
But you might see it as less serious, but it's more serious because you're still feeding into your persona of you as an artist.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's more serious because it's like, hey, let me add this on. Let me make sure I have a theme. Let me make sure I have like a look, and that's what people remember you for.
Yeah. No.
You know, like I knew you because I was like, oh, he's the guy that's in vibrant yellow. I'm going to interview him. And I was telling my girl, Yvette, and I was like, that's the guy that I'm going to interview. And I remember you because of the smiles.
Yeah. No, and it makes it easier, you know. It makes it easier to get into clubs, get seated at restaurants. So you go there once, and it's
so impactful. Like, I meet people all the time, and I'm sure you meet people all the time, and you kind of forget people's names, but once they do something that's memorable, or you know, something that is just stands out to where you remember them, like you're never gonna forget.
No, and you know what? Sometimes I'll meet people a few times and I just won't remember them.
Yeah.
And people will give me, you know, shit for that. They're like, bro, come on. I met you like a week ago. And I'm like, it's not my fault. You have the same haircut as everyone. You dress exactly the same as everyone. You do the same job as everyone. I don't know what like, at least I made it easy.
That is very true. I can attest. I can agree. Because as soon as I saw him, I was like, that's the guy I'm gonna interview, because I remembered like it was like the yellow, the hair, everything was a look. Yeah. And I was just like, that's him. And I was like, can you make sure? Because I'm like, I know there's not too many people walking around with yellow hair and yellow outfit and a smile, you know, emblem on his chain. So I was like, has to be him. But yeah, I'm so glad that I met you before I interviewed you. And then I was like, he's such a nice person. And
thank you.
I love how you mix like two different genres of music together. I think that's super dope. And I love that, you know, you can have your journey and people relate to that journey. Yeah. So what about relationships? Are you in one, single, ready to mingle?
Yeah, I'm in a relationship. We've been dating for a year and a half.
Love that. I love. Like, I love
when people
are in love and just growing and glowing together.
And it's great too. I've been in relationships in the past, and most of my past relationships were just like people that you take away the physical appearance. I would never want to be around these people. You know, like,
and I feel
but the person I'm with now like is great and like matches me on my energy.
I love that. And that's very, very important in relationships, to just match energy and be in sync with each other. Yeah. And just be able to grow and just let it be deeper than just looks, because that fades over time. And like you said, when there's no substance, it only lasts for so long. Yeah. You know? So I just feel like I love that for you, and I love that for
And
who
she
you're
was over
with.
my looks in like by day 2, day 3, you know. And she
Did
was
she
like,
ever?
"Thank God you have personality."
I love it. Has anyone, not even just her in particular, has anyone ever asked you to change the way you look, or maybe it's too much, or, you know, like maybe you want to go blue smiles one day instead of yellow smiles?
I mean, no, not really. A lot of people think it's dope. You know, a lot of people are like, yeah, it's your own thing. Like, stick with
Absolutely.
it. I'd say like, only like my homie Sad Ponies, this producer guy. He's always like, bro, why are you wearing all yellow? Like you know, just like dye your hair black. You know, like you'll be taken more seriously. I'm like, will I though? No, I don't care. Like it's just
you.
yeah. I feel like it matches who I am, like as a person.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. So what else do you have going on? Like new music coming out or tour?
So right now I'm pretty much just working on like my first like project, putting it all together, and I'm pretty much producing it all myself. Besides a couple pieces by like at this point I've been doing music for so long, I'm just like friends with a couple producers, and so I like, instead of just like going in and locking in with one producer and like making an album, I've been kind of, I feel like it comes across more when I'm doing everything. It's on the project, it's like more personal and more unique sounding. So I've actually just been spending like literally every second that I'm, you know, not busy, like just locked in the studio on my computer, like recording guitars. Then I build the beat around it. Then I write the song. Then I try to make the song better.
Right.
And then I'm recording my own vocals, and then I send it to a mixer. I'm like just knocking songs out.
How long does it usually typically take you to make one song?
It depends. It totally depends. Like I've had songs where it clicks, and I've written the first verse, chorus, everything makes sense. I like it. I'm excited about it, and I could wrap that song up in an hour.
Oh wow.
Or it could be something where like I have another song where I've had the full song done for 3 weeks, but I'm not happy with the chorus lyric.
Where
So
it's not like you have to love a song before you're like, all right, this is going out.
Yeah, because it doesn't, and I've released so much music that I know it doesn't really, like, to a certain degree, it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are, because
Absolutely.
the only time it's annoying when you put out a song and you
don't love
look
it.
back on it and you're
Right.
like, man, I wish I would.
And then you got to repeat the song and sing the song and perform the song.
Yeah,
And
you want to make sure you love it.
absolutely.
And even if you loved it for a certain time period, that's good enough for me to be like, no, that's good. Keep that up. We'll keep going. Yeah,
absolutely. And I know your growth came from you doing a song with Tekashi. How is that?
Oh, you know what? It's great. Like, it was a really interesting time period because, you know, I had known him before all the jail shit and been on tour with him in Europe. And I wasn't necessarily really close with him. I was really close with his best friends that were like from Brooklyn, and like we all just clicked because we were all just wild, and we were like, we all wanted to party and like chase girls and like, you know, like go to the club all night. And we all like connected because really like we're like, these kids from Brooklyn, we're from LA, me and my friends and shit, but we just clicked because we're like, like fuck it, like let's go do something, like excitement about life.
Absolutely.
And so we were really close with his friends. And then when he got out of jail, I think he looked at me as like, because everyone thought he was going to be in jail for life, and we were still friends with his friends. Like it wasn't on any fake shit. Like like, oh well, you know, maybe if he gets out, you know, everyone thought he was going to be gone forever.
Right.
So we were just like, well, we get along with him. And so when he got out, it was kind of like, damn, you know, like I respect, you know, like Smilez like hung by my day ones,
Right.
while I was gone. Like, that's some real shit. Like,
Right.
you know, and so we end up at the safe house when he's making that album. And
So
it was,
y'all
like,
are still
intense.
cool.
You know what? Like, he kind of does his own thing, you know? Like, I'm closer to, you know, his brother is like one of my great friends, just such a great dude. But I don't necessarily talk to him really ever. Like, he'll hit me if he's in LA,
Got
you
it.
know?
Got
But
it. That's dope. So for everyone that comes on, we play this game so people could get to know you outside of social, outside of music, just
Let's
get to
go.
know you on a deeper level.
All
You know,
right.
it's pretty toxic. I'm just letting you know now. It's crazy.
No, I love it. Let's
crazy scenarios. So there's two choices, and I play with you, so you're not on the hot seat by yourself.
go. Okay.
Bad choices is a game of have you ever. So have you ever been to a club and pissed outside? I don't
Okay.
know. Those might be the questions. Or pick your poison is would you rather? Would you rather be deaf or blind? So those are like, this is me being very modest about how these questions are going to be.
Bad choices.
Bad choices. Okay. So I'm going to let you pick.
Yes,
maybe
I've done them all.
Okay. Five cards. And
Okay.
because these ones are more like you answer with your own answer. And the would you rather gives you an option.
Okay.
So I'll let you pick your cards that you want to ask me, and then I'll see what I have for you.
So I pick 5 too?
Yes. Are they crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Have you done a walk of shame in the past year?
A walk of shame, as in like you were embarrassed and you like walk, like how would you describe the walk of shame?
Well, I think the classic walk of shame is like you just had a one night stand and you're leaving the next morning.
Absolutely not.
But let's make it wider. Just like walk of shame, like in, I don't know, you just felt like you were like you just did some crazy shit and you're not too excited about it.
No, only because when I do stuff, I'm very strategic and like I have really bad OCD. So
Okay.
I try to strive for perfectionism. So because I have that deeper rooted issue, I feel like I wouldn't just go out there and do some embarrassing, crazy shit and just like be like, okay, now I got to walk and look crazy, you know?
So you're a smarter person than I am.
I make better decisions when it comes to, because I have a family. I got 8 kids. I got a man.
That's
So
amazing.
it's like I got a lot of things.
Oh yeah, you're the
I'm like,
boss.
you know
you're the
what?
boss of the crew. That's great.
All right. Could you have a long-term relationship with someone who has completely different political views than you?
Yeah. Yeah, I could. I'm not that big into politics. It depends if the person's pushy about it. I would say I'd have a harder time being with someone that had a totally different musical taste than me.
Right. Over politics.
Or was even just closed-minded. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't think it would be that crazy of a thing.
Absolutely.
This is crazy. I don't even want to ask you this. Have you ever taken a picture of your shit?
I don't see no purpose of doing that, so no.
Okay. Thank God. Thank God.
So awkward. Okay.
Next question.
Would you cut off one of your ears for $500,000?
Ears?
Yeah,
Nah.
just one.
Nah,
Not both.
nah.
You could still hear.
I like my ears. I like my ears.
Okay. Would you accept $50,000, but porn audio softly plays from your pocket at all times for a whole year?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's hilarious. That's just, I mean, imagine that. You know, you're on the airplane and just,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Airplane,
it.
that's hilarious. I like funny. Yeah, I already got enough stares like being all yellow, so that would just add to the mystique.
No, 110%. Like I would feel, I have an association that caters to like women and children for
Yeah.
charity. So I just feel like if I just had like soft sexual porn playing in my pocket, it would just be like, what if I was at a board meeting or something and it's just like playing sexual music and here I am trying to help women and children. Like it's not, I couldn't do it. You could definitely pull it off.
Yeah, I could pull it off. Like, oh, I didn't even realize. Oh, oops, it's
sorry, long night last night or something. You know, they would look at me like, "Are you fucking out of your mind right now?"
Okay, let's see. Would you get a lot of enjoyment from being a member of the opposite sex for a day?
Like me being a guy for a day?
Yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely. 110%, if I can close my eyes and be my spouse for a day, or close my eyes and be my son for a day, or my brother for a day, or even my dad for a day, just, you know, to just experience how it is to be a man in this world, especially the ones that I love, I think that would be so dope.
Yeah.
And make you think of things differently. Like, you know,
exactly.
It just like how people have sex or how people talk to people or how it is to be a man and just do manly things like open the door or, you know, just the gesture of like that opposite sex.
I always think like sometimes too, like I'll see other like guys do this, but when it's an attractive female around, a lot of guys just change their whole vibe up, you know, and just put on an act of like, oh, like they're just not a nice person all day. Then a attractive female comes along and now they're Mr. Nice Guy, you know?
The persona.
And it would be interesting to see that the treatment being changed, you know?
Yeah, no, 110%. And I would definitely, like, I still like, feel like if I was me in like a man's body, I would still be me, but see the difference in reaction I would get as me being a female than me being a man.
Yeah.
You know, like it's obviously like I'm a female, so no one's gonna look at me and think that I'm intimidating or I'm, you know, like I feel like when people look at me and they don't approach me, they're either like, oh, she might feel like she's too good to talk to me or whatever the case is. And if I was a man and I might, you know, might look more intimidating because I'm a man, like let's say, for example, if I was my spouse who's a boxer and he's 6'7", I'm 5'5". So like just being taller, like, oh, let me not approach him, you know, but then now I'm a man, so I can approach you and then you might not feel a type of way because it's like, shit, he looks pretty scary, you know, as opposed to like, oh, she looks like she's just not going to talk to me because she just looks like she's just not going to talk to me.
I think, you know, and I think so sort of it's like someone's energy to like whatever your gender is, like, I don't know, you seem like you're just like cool. So that kind of, it can be intimidating sometimes or like welcoming. I don't know. But
yeah, I feel like I also feel like other like people are so different that it's like you have a person that's super sociable that might approach you, and then you have a person that's super shy that might not approach you, just based off of how you look. Yeah, you know. So I do feel like I do feel like it's easier for men to approach people than it is for women to approach people. I feel. Yeah,
and well, the other thing is too, like some guys are so weird. If you're an attractive female and you go up to a guy and it's a weird guy, they're gonna be like, I'm in love with you. You know, like, hey, can I have your number and I'll call you every day, every single day. Like, in like weird shit where it's like, it makes females have to be guarded.
No, absolutely.
And I don't know what my point was, but yeah.
No, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Okay. Have you ever made out with someone after vomiting earlier in the night? That's a pretty bad choice.
Yeah, I mean, I must have. Yeah. I mean, I would give it some time, you know. I would try to brush my teeth or, you know, just give it a minute. But, you know, I'd probably have, yeah.
Let that taste kind of linger out your mouth before
Yeah,
you're
it's just
in
like,
someone
why are you
else's.
gonna do that to someone? Like, it's just...
It's wrong and
bad.
disrespectful, y'all.
Yeah.
Please at least brush,
Yeah,
floss,
don't
whatever
do
you need
that.
to do to get the scent
Yeah, out
out.
of there. Get that out of there.
It's on you.
Okay, my question is, do you support polygamy?
I don't. Personally, I don't want to share my man. I'm sure my man doesn't want to share me. We have a plethora of children, more than enough. I just don't feel like I would be comfortable in that situation of just like a slew of sister wives, like, or, you know, like, or him even, you know, sharing me and me having 2 men or 3 men or 4 men or 5 men, or just like, I just don't feel like we would be accepting of that in our relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like, you know, whoever does it. And I have people in my life that I know are in polygamous relationships. No judgment to them. Like, whatever makes you happy at the end of the day, I just know that wouldn't make me happy.
Yeah. I always think, well, I mean, it's interesting because my girlfriend is bisexual. So, and I like, you know, she likes girls and she likes guys. I like girls, you know, so like, of course, part of me is like, dope, you know, like cool. But I think when it comes to like relationships, it's like, I mean, yeah, you see those like shows, those like sister wife shows. Man, it's hard enough to like be there for one person.
Yeah,
really,
absolutely,
and live your own life. You know, like to do that with multiple people is like, I mean, I couldn't do anything. You couldn't do.
Yeah,
like,
it's a job within itself.
Yeah.
Like to just manage. I want to say manage, but like, you know, deal with multiple people at multiple times, and then someone's going to get hurt. Someone's going to get jealous. Someone's going to feel a type of way. Like what you're just talking about, like threesomes and stuff, that's completely different than like full blown relationships with multiple people than to just have fun for the night.
I mean, it's hard to have, you know, like a group of friends, keep a good group of friends rather than, you know. Yeah, exactly.
That part.
That's difficult right there. Keep a good group of friends and, you know, have one real, like, you know, intimate relationship. To add a couple more, man, you got to quit your job. You got to
make time, and you don't even have time. It's just craziness.
That's crazy.
All right. Last but not least, have you ever apologized after sex?
Every single time. No.
Hilarious. All right. Tell everyone where they could find you, what you got going on, and all that good stuff.
I'm Smilez. You can find me on Instagram.com/Smilez.
With a Z?
Yeah, with a Z. TikTok.com/Smilez. YouTube. Just look up Smilez. All that, you know. And my music's up there. I'm about to drop some new crazy music. So yeah, thank you for having me.
No, absolutely. And make sure you guys check out his music. It's super dope. Smilez with a Z. And when you see him, you're going to know who he is. And that is it for Telly Talks.